And that leads to another headline in the NFL, which is talking about the running back situation in the NFL. Essentially, to break it down, quarterbacks have just become so astronomically valuable over the last couple of years, to the point where their skill set has become way high valuable, and running backs have almost become disposable when before they used to be, the workhorses of the offense. So, what's the solution to that? It seems like everyone is bringing up the problem, including the running backs themselves, but we need to know what is the solution.
Well, I think first of all, you just have to realize that these running backs are overvaluing themselves, at least in my opinion. I think they're, I don't know, they're, like you said, they're very expendable. It's very easy, in my opinion, to go out and say, just draft a young running back who's younger, less injury prone. Like, for example, we saw with the Chiefs what they did with Pacheco last year. They got a starter in the 7th round of the NFL draft. Like, I think it's relatively easy to, uh, just to get a new running back just like that.
So
So
you're saying that running backs, like the solution is for running backs to like devalue themselves so that they become more compatible with teams that they want.
well, not to take not to take anything away from them, but I think they should just kind of reduce their expectations a little bit.
Yeah, I agree completely with what Kai said. I mean, you look at Tony Pollard, you look at Alexander Madison. These are two guys that are very good running backs that have been backups to running backs their whole careers, and they're making a name for themselves. There's not many positions in the NFL. I'd argue that running back is the only one where you can really plug a guy in there and he'll probably produce not necessarily the same level as the number one if you're like talking about a Christian McCaffrey or an Alvin Kamara, but they're able to produce. So it's not a solution, but the running backs need to stop complaining because they really are replaceable.
It's a tough situation if you're a running back. Chris, you got anything to say about it?
I mean, like, I agree that running backs are replaceable, but what about someone like Saquon?
Mm.
What about him?
Like,
He's generational. Generational.
He's probably the Giants' best player. Do you guys agree with that? Like,
No, I think that's fair. But I think just your average like quarterback or kicker, I'd value more than your average running back. Obviously,
the
you're
kicker.
All right. I'd have to
no,
interject
I
there.
would. I would say kicker.
I'd have to
That's ridiculous.
I'd have to interject there, bro. Like, running backs are so important to the team. Like, even if they're replaceable, the role that they play, like if you had no one playing as running back, your team would be screwed.
So sorry, let me rephrase that. I would take like how do I put that? I would say a consistent field goal kicker. I would take that over an above average running back because that's guaranteed points. Like, for example, like Justin Tucker, for example. Obviously, he's one of the best, but I would take him over a Saquon Barkley just because.
I just don't think it's fair that running backs are the player that put themselves, like their bodies, in the most dangerous situations, and B, arguably some of the most athletic people on the field at any given time. Like,
that's all true.
Why do they get punished? Why do they get punished for that?
They shouldn't, but if you just look at it from like a owner's perspective, if I knew I could get somebody for much cheaper and would give not quite the same but good enough numbers, I think I would take that.
Yeah, and
but that's just me.
Barring like Adrian Peterson, how many running backs are efficient past their late 20s, like when they reach 30s? I mean, look at Todd Gurley, for example. When did he retire? When he was 25, 26? He had like four MVP caliber seasons, and he was just out of the league because of injuries. So that's another big problem. They are taking more hits than anybody else on the football field.
I think it's just a risk reward thing.
Yeah, I think that maybe a way to, like, for running backs to do that is maybe like set like a minimum pay requirement for running backs. Especially I'd say like running backs that maybe had like 1,000 yards get paid that more than running backs that had like 500 yards. and running backs that paid 1,500, like get 1,500 yards, get paid way more money than all those guys. Because like you have to reward talent, or else you just have a broken game. You know, if
So
you're
you're
punishing
saying,
talent
like,
in a sports
the-
game,
like incentive type thing.
something like that, like just rewarding running backs that
I like
produce
that. I like
instead of
that.
punishing them. That's
Yeah.
what my solution would be. I know that like because the problem with that is like you set like a minimum thing, but then there's going to be like a bunch of college kids that want to play for below the minimum. So like, what the hell are you going to do then? It's really difficult.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you guys this. So Barkley's contract is 10.1 million fully guaranteed, and then 900 grand in incentives.
Okay.
So, and then on the same day, Cole Kmet, I think, signed 4 years for 50 million. I mean,
Ridiculous.
like
I have an interesting statistic too. Stephen A. Smith said on First Take the other day there are 125 NFL players that make at least $15 million a year. 2 of them are running backs,
who is it? Is it
That's
McCaffrey and
wild.
Henry? Is that it?
McCaffrey and Kamara.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, not even the NFL has a solution to the problem. It's just really rough. The way the game's evolving has just kind of like screwed over the running backs big time.
They should make a Zoom.
Yeah.
Like us,
Right.
He should. Why haven't they thought of that yet?
Dude, that was so.
we should
funny
invite
when-
them on starting 5, and then
When,
they'd be able to discuss. Yeah.
So what
Can you
was that?
imagine
Who,
being-
who hosted the Zoom? It was
So Austin
Eckler.
Eckler,
Eckler,
makes a
Eckler.
Zoom, invites every running back that's not getting any bread, and then a few hours later, Justin Herbert, his own teammate, signs the highest contract ever.
That's
And
so
then-
dumb.
then-
I have a question. Is there any like headlines coming out of what happened on the Zoom call? Did they come up with a solution?
No.
Because I haven't seen anything
I'll
about that
tell you what
since the
happened.
Zoom call.
So
I mean, how much
Austin
power do
Eckler-
the running backs in themselves have? If they don't play, you guys just said like they
What if
can get
all of them
plugged
just
in.
hold out, then they just sign their
Then-
backups?
Yeah, literally.
Here's what happened. Austin Eckler makes the Zoom, and he's just like, "Yo, this sucks," and then everyone is just like, "This sucks,"
And that.
and then
the Zoom
Bark
call.
and then Barkley signs a deal the day after. So I mean,
And then he's like, "What should we do to combat this?" And everybody's like, "I have no idea." That's
they're-
probably what happened.
I mean, it just sucks, realistically.
So
It's
I'd say
really-
that starting 5 concludes that there is no solution. Running backs are screwed for the foreseeable future. It's
Do you think-
terrible.
Do you guys think the running back position is dying? Because
Yes.
if I'm like a parent of a kid, I'm not letting them play running back. And if I was a young athlete, who wants to play running back when you can when you have time to develop into a cornerback, wide receiver?
Bro, quarterbacks get paid 40 times more than running backs. Like, why would you not want to be a quarterback? I think
Rightfully so.
that's for another segment. The fact that the quarterback position is just totally unbalanced compared to everyone else. But yeah,
I
that's
mean,
for
just
another
look
episode.
at the last few Super Bowl champions. Like, it's all running backs by committee.
Mhm.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. It's not
Man, I
just
feel
one
like-
guy.
That's the formula, honestly. And it's so unfortunate because, like, someone like Saquon, former number 2 overall pick, he should be getting a lot more money than what just
He's
signed,
usually the best
but,
football player on the field at any given time.
Yeah,
you know?
and it
Mhm.
just sucks because, dude, his position, he's losing on millions and millions of dollars. But
I think that football as a whole is going to suffer the consequences of like having like really devaluing running backs, you know, like I don't know, maybe 10 years from now, like Joey said, no one's going to be wanting to play running back. So
Yeah.
like maybe we're just going to watch 4 passing downs, punt 4 passing downs, punt, you know, etc.
I mean, you look at the NFL 10 years ago compared to now. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but the passing rates are way up.
yeah,
True. But
Play
that-
actions
that
aren't gonna
could
be a freaking
contributed
thing.
to other things too, just like better athletes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Play actions are
That's
going to be
true.
like
It's a passing league now, and
Yeah.
Anyways, you know, the running back situation sucks.